Hi guys, so I'm going to show you this my little retro pink cherry mani that I did. I hand painted it. The background I did on this mani with the plaid, I stamped the plaid and then I hand painted all the cherry stuff. So really pretty easy. Anyway, so let's get started. We're gonna stamp. So this is what it looks like, you know, after it's stamped before I put the cherries on it. Now this is a super long nail, or a long nail, and if your nails are longer, then you're gonna, you know, want to make sure that you extend this, because this image is not long enough, or you have to piece it together. So we're gonna start out with this, and I used True Gel Easy Flow True Gel's Feather Gray. I really like this gray. It's a gel polish, of course, and you do your regular prep, you know, base, especially if you're doing it on yourself. But you want to do a base and 2 coats of color and then top coat. So I have a top coat of gel on this. You can use regular polish. You just got to make sure it dries really good. The nice thing about gel is that if you mess up your art, it's easier to fix without messing up your color. But anyway, here we go. So we're going to use this plate. This is the image that I used on, this is Lena's Dress Your Nails 01. And we're using this plaid plate, and I did use some of this houndstooth down here to extend my image, and I kind of like it. Kind of made it fun to do. So I'm going to use my Maniology Bam White, and I'm going to use I used Clear Jelly Stamper on mine, and I have, if you like the shorter ones, the monocle, I have a new one by Maniology. That's the monocle kind. And I love using this. The only thing is, when your nails are as long as mine are, your nails can get in the way. So I'm gonna use my Clear Jelly Stamper this time. Take that off. Okay, so here we go. And I'm using my Maniology scraper card. That's my favorite scraper card still. So I'm gonna go this way so you can see. So I got some extra there, and this nail is pretty long. So we're gonna go right, try and get our line right down the middle, our fat line. That's really pretty easy to line up. And then just gently roll from side to side. And so just kind of pat that. So you can leave it just like that if you want. If you're doing it on your own nails and your own nails are shorter, then either you'll just have this part, or you can add a little bit of this over it. Or if your nails are in between length, then you can just, you probably won't have this line or this blank space here, but because it's this long, there is a blank space. Now, when you do your cherries, you could cover that with the cherries, or you can add an extra line, however you want to do that. Okay, so I don't know if you can, how well you can see it, but on this one, it's so big, and I added this line right here in between. So, and that, it's a kind of cool stitch look. And if you want to do it that way, then I used this plate. You can do a line however you want, but I wanted it to have that stitch look, so I used this right here. And this is Clear Jelly Stamper CJS 56. And this plate is used for doing plaids or, textures and stuff. But anyway, I just did that one right there. And I guess we could go ahead and do that. So right there. And if you don't have this plate, you can still do it with, your plaid image. Just take the line off the side of the plaid, but then you have to kind of clean it up a little bit. So that's the nice part about having one of, this plate here, because then you don't have to, you just get your line. So see, it has that kind of stitched look on it. Okay. Okay, so then I'm just gonna add it and turn it this way. Hopefully you can see it. So I'm just gonna add it right there. There it is. Okay. All right, so let me clean up my lint roller, clean up my stamper, and put that away. Okay, so we have it ready now, and I cover it with gel so that if I do mess up, you know, then it's easy to fix. And so I'm gonna put a coat of Macart, soak it off, no wipe, top coat. I need to get I have to get a new bottle pretty soon, but I just kind of float it over, you know. Now I'm making these for some press-ons, so I want to make sure I really have it sealed on the edges of these tips. Good. Okay, down the middle, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna set this in my LED, and I have my little Delish travel light that I use for these tutorials. And I'm gonna set that in the LED for 30 seconds. Get my stuff put away and get ready for the next phase. So the next one, after we've got our base, now you don't have to do the plaid if you don't want to. You know, you don't have to do plaid background if you want yours to be just a solid. I did a set where I did the blue background and I did red cherries, and that was really pretty. But this variation, this set, I wanted to do pink cherries, more like a Queen Anne, and I wanted the plaid behind it. But you can do a different, you know, design behind it if you wanted to also. So anyway, okay, so there we go. And now we're gonna just start painting our cherries on. So to make it even easier for doing the cherry part, we're just gonna use, you know, this dotting tool. And you know, you want one that's got about the size of the cherry you want, or at least close enough. And that's a pretty good size one. And then I just have this to wipe off paint or whatever I need to do. And I just have some, you know, craft paints. My favorite brands are probably Ceram Coat, Accent, and Apple Barrel, but you can use, you know, this is a Joann's. Just hers tend to be thinner though. So I'm just gonna, you know, dip it in there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just do it straight on. So you just kind of want to figure out where do you want them at. So here I have where I've done like bookends, you know, where that, so, you know, because if you're doing a full set, then you don't have to do this. You can just do them random and they still look really cool. But I did these so that, you know, they're facing opposite for the most part. But, you know, however you want to do. So anyway, I'm going to do 3 sets of 2 cherries. So 6 cherries, basically. And just figure out wherever you want to do. And I start out with one in the middle. I don't want it exactly in the middle, though. I think it looks better when it's off a little bit. But anyway, I'll just show you. So you can kind of make it go, you know, if it's not as big as you want, if you go kind of in a circle. And if it's not a perfect circle, don't worry about it, because cherries aren't always a perfect circle. Okay. So something like that. And then we're gonna do, and I just go ahead and do all the cherries, you know, at one time. And another set, or another one to go with it there. And let me move this over the way so I don't have my hand in the way if I can help it. And then I think I'm gonna do maybe, sometimes I like to do it opposite from the direction I have the top ones. And so, so maybe go this side. go. But whatever you like, you know. I always say when I'm hand painting, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, just have fun with it and do it how, you know, so you're happy with it. Okay, so putting the pink away. I guess we could, well, I'll do a second one, but I'll go ahead and do this one first, and then, you know, if you've got it all down after the first one, then you don't need to watch the second one, or you can watch the second one. Okay, so next, the brush I'm going to use is, now this one, you know, it didn't come brand new with these really thin, you know, that fine. It's been used for, you know, quite a bit. I have a newer one, but it's got too many bristles, and I like it on the thinner side for the stems. So that's about what, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's about how thin it is. And so that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna do, now you can mix a couple colors if you want to, blend them. I do it, you know, I do it on one or two of them. I don't do it on all of them. Like I'm not gonna do it on this one here. I'm just gonna do the dark green straight on, like I did the pink to start. So I'm just gonna I just kind of dip it in like on the side. It's easier for me than put a bunch on the palette or whatever. But you don't want a big ball like in the middle. So if you're gonna have a little ball on it, you want it at the end. Or I do anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this and so that it's gonna be coming from this direction. I'm gonna dab a little more paint on, and then I'm gonna connect my stem. There we go. See, it makes a finer stem. I like finer stem. If you don't have one of these and you have, you know, a different, shorter liner brush, you can use that too. But the finer the, you know, bristles, it makes that finer stem, which I like better. So now we're gonna do stem on these. So I go ahead and do all the stems at one time. You know, and don't worry about it not being perfectly straight, you know, or whatever. Okay, and then we got one more on this one. So we're gonna turn this around. Now, of course, you can do it on your finger. You can't turn it around quite the same way, but you can do it on your own fingers, because I did it on mine, and I also did this on a client. She asked for this. Of course, it's easier when you can spin it around, but okay, so I'm gonna rinse that off, and I'm gonna get a different liner brush for the next part. And this one is, you know, as you can probably see, it has more bristles on it, and it's, you know, I don't know if you'd call it, I'd say maybe a medium length, you know, brush. And let me see if that helps. I think we can see it good. Okay, anyway, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the leaves. And the leaves, I'm going to use this apple green. And I'm just going to do it out of the, you can do it, I've done it both ways while I've been doing these, out of the cap, or, you know, if I want to wipe some off, I just put it on here. But I have a ceiling fan on right now, so it's almost easier to just use it out of the cap, because then it doesn't dry out as fast. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start here, and just whatever shape leaf that you like, just kind of, you know, so a lighter touch the better. And I'm going to take it off this holder for a second. I think it's almost easier to get it. Okay, wait. Put off some of that. Okay. I'll do this one up on top. And then this over here. Okay, so there we got our green leaves. Okay. There we go. Put it back on the holder. Okay, now for this next part, I am going to mix a little bit of color. A little bit of color here. I'm just going to put some of the apple green down. It doesn't take very much paint, even when you're doing like a whole, you know, or your whole hand or set or whatever, which is nice. So you just get it however dark you want it. And okay, so I'm wiping off some of the excess off my brush. And I'm just going to try and do a light swipe on here. As close to feathery as I can. And don't, like I said, don't worry, because it doesn't have to be. If you don't get it perfect, it's not going to matter. It's going to look good when it's all together. It's kind of cool how art can be that way. It starts out not looking like much, and then it looks cool when it all comes together at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna take that holder off out of my way again. Just a little swipe, just a little swipe. Okay, okay, so next I'm gonna do, I wanna add a little bit of the red. And you can mix your red with the dark green if you want to. Or you can just do straight, you know, red. If you want your red brighter or whatever, you can do that. But anyway, so here I'm just doing, you know, a red. Whatever shade of red you like. So basically, that's what it looks like. And it doesn't take very much. So I'm just taking a little bit out of here. And I'm gonna add it over here. And I'm gonna add a little bit of green to it. Just a little bit, because I don't want it brownish or, you know. So wipe off a little bit of the extra, and I'm going to try and just do sort of like a half smile. This just have to kind of try and keep a light touch. Okay. Just as much as you can. Okay, and then we just have these two down here. Get these, there we go. Okay, so there we go. So let me wipe off my brush in the water. I have like a little, you know, and you can't see it, but a little cup water, so whatever kind of little container you want with your water in it. Okay, so we've got that done, and now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add some highlight. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to add some white, add a bunch of white. There we go. Well, I probably don't need that much, but I've been doing, you know, several of them at a time, so kind of got used to adding that much. And we're going to add some of the apple green, just a little bit over to the side, and then add a little bit into the white. And so I want it mostly white with just a little bit of that apple green in it, so it's not stark white. Okay. And I'm going to wipe off the excess paint because it's not going to take that much. And I'm just going to try and do like a little, like a little dot, so it looks like there's a little bit of light hitting my cherries. Okay. Okay, that was a little heavy-handed, so that's okay. It'll be imperfectly perfect. So now I'm just going to try and do as fine a line as I can to add some highlight on the leaves too. You know, or how much you want it to show up, so, you know. A little heavier on that one because that's the one I kind of messed up a little bit earlier. There we go. And then we'll do these leaves up here. So you just figure out where you want your light hitting them. And just do a little line. There we go. That's amazing how just those little tiny details really kind of wake them up, huh? Make them come alive. So then next I will just let it dry. So, you know, if you're doing on a tip like that, you can just let them set and dry, but if you're doing them on yourself, then you're probably going to want to use a blow dryer. So I think that's what we'll do, so we can put a top coat on. Now you can use a regular top coat. You could use Maniology smudge-free top coat, which is water-based. Or you can use a gel top coat, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so once again, I'm using McCart's Snow White top coat. So whichever, you know, whatever you prefer. And just get a, you know, fair amount. And just gonna swipe it over it. Once again, I'm doing these for a set of press-on nails. So I'm going to make sure that my edges are sealed really good. But on you, you wouldn't, of course, do the edges like that. But anyway, so there we go. We're gonna put it in there for 30 to 60 seconds. If it's the last coat, I like to do it for 60 seconds. Just make sure it's really, really set, you know, extra good. But 30 seconds is what it says to do. So now I'm gonna do the second one. First, I'm gonna show you, this is one hand of the press-ons, you know, that I did this design on. Really cute, really fun. So there's that, same as I did on me. And then we're gonna go ahead and do one, I've already stamped it obviously, and all we're gonna do is just paint the cherries on again. So if you needed a second, you know, second look at that, how I did it, you know, you can watch now or not. And so either way, please click like on the like, and please click on the bell icon so you'll get a notice on my next new tutorial, and please subscribe. So thank you so much, guys and girls. So I'm gonna go ahead and start painting again. So once again, I'm gonna take my little skinny long striper brush, and I like to dip it in the water, take off the excess water, you know, before I use it. And then I don't want to forget, because I'm going to use my little dotting tool for the pink first. Okay, I'm going to shake it up, because I'm going to use it out of the lid, and I want to make sure that there's plenty, you know, of thin enough paint in the lid. And so here I go. So I'm going to go ahead and do, I think I'll go this way. There we go. And I'm going to go this way. There we go. And then I'm going to go this way. So see, pretty easy. I'll put that in the water, let that start soaking, and hopefully those will start drying fast enough. Now they're still going to be wet at this point, so you want to be careful when you're doing this, you know, putting the stems on, so that you try to stay off the cherry as much as you can while it's drying. So I just want to, you know, make sure I get enough. Now, if it's easier for you, you can, you know, use a dotting tool or something and dab a bunch of paint off on your little palette, and you can do it that way. I find that it's easy enough for me to do it this way, and then I don't waste as much paint. But you know, these paints are pretty inexpensive, so anyway, here we go again. So I do have a little ball that's not all the way to the end, so I'm going to kind of dab it off there. Go that way, and go this way. There we go. So there's one set. I'll move this on this side, so I'm not going across in front of you with my hand. It's a bad habit. Okay, and then I'm going to go this way here. And kind of, there we go. And then we're going to go down this way. Oops, that one's a little thick. That's okay. There we go. And then put that in the water to soak. And let's see. So next we're going to do our leaves again. Hopefully my thing doesn't come off. Okay, so I'm going to use the apple green for my leaves. Of course, you can use any shade of green that you want. I really like this, and that's kind of the look I wanted. So, okay, so here we go. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. There we go. And I want to get out of frame. I hope I haven't been out of frame. Just take off a little excess there. And here we go. Okay. I'm going to take that off the holder again. It's easier for me to get a good grip and get the angle I want. There we go, that's better. It's maybe a little bit more shape this way, a little more roundish. Okay. And you know, if you want to do one stroke, you can do one stroke too. But this is what the look I was going for this time. Okay, there's that. Back on the holder. Wash off my brush. There we go. Okay, so next we're gonna do the different green in the leaf. So let me grab my lids and put mix my green a little bit. You don't have to do this. You can just use the dark if you want, you know, or whatever shade of green that you want to do. I just kind of like it like this, so. Okay. Move those again. Wipe off the excess, and I'm going to try and do it as light and wispy as I can. Had a couple cups with caffeine in it today, so that really always helps. Okay. There. Yeah, a little bit more on this one. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna wash out my brush again. Really easy, right? Okay, is this thing like not quite on there straight enough? Yeah. Okay, so next we're gonna do the red on the cherries. And I think this one, I'm just gonna do it with, you know, a little bit quicker. Just put a little dab on here and just do directly straight red, and then also you can see if you like it that way or not. It's a little brighter. There we go. This paint's drying really fast because of this fan. Okay, so now we're just going to do our highlighting once again. So, oops. So now we start with our, get a little bit of white on here, and some lime green. Probably got too much, but that's okay. I'll grab a little bit more white. There we go. A little more green in that. Just a faint green to the white. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off the excess now. And then we're just gonna do a little dab on our cherries. A little dot on our cherries. There we go. There we go. Taking it off the holder again. There. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna just add a teeny bit of water to this, or to the side of this. And I wanna do the little highlights on the leaves now. So I'm trying to do a little wispy line again. Okay. And then over here, or wherever you want it to be. Okay, and that's it. Easy as that. I know, it's kind of fun, huh? So anyway, there we go, our retro pink cherry nails. So once again, thanks so much for watching, girls. I hope you have fun doing this. And of course now you would just blow dry it and put a top coat, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to let you go. So thanks so much. Bye, guys.